Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this session. I call them reflections about music and mental health. And I'm very passionate about this because I believe not so many people are talking about the things that we want to hear or the things that matter in our community. So I feel like we can use these platforms to discuss about so many of these burning issues that we have, the questions that have not been answered for over, I don't know how long. And my name is Benjamin Komagum. I'm a recording and performing artist who goes by the stage name Benjamin Spartos. But also, um, on top of my music as an entertainment, I use my music for mental health advocacy and rehabilitation. So, on today's session, joining me is a community psychologist, Nayiga Maria, and together we're going to be discussing about mental health and how music comes in. And this is going to be the very first session of so many. It's going to be a series. So you're welcome to give in your views. You're welcome to just share with us what you think, ask your questions during the session. So before we begin, I would just like to clarify that if you want to say something, please just raise your hand so that it's easy to have at least one speaker at a time during the session. And we also have the chat in case of anything that's missed out, in case we didn't see your hand or besides that, I'm going to let Nayiga to introduce herself, to just tell us about who she is. I know I said she's a community psychologist, but then she'll just tell us about a little more about who she is and what she's doing. And then, we'll continue from there. Nayiga, take it away.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. My name is Nayiga Maria. I am a community psychologist. I work with Mental Health Focus Uganda, but I also work with Kasese Restoration Center, which is located in Kasese. With Mental Health Focus Uganda, the organization focuses on creating awareness on mental health. We also focus on rehabilitation in terms of providing therapy to community members. We also do school outreaches. We do home visits to patients and their families. So basically, on the side of Mental Health Focus Uganda, I am basically in the whole entire community working in terms of creating awareness about mental health. And then on the side of Kasese Restoration Center, it is a center for children living with disabilities. So we have children that have so many disabilities, but I specifically work with the parents in terms of providing psychosocial support, in terms of motivating them, encouraging them, and also in terms of creating awareness on the side of people who have children living with disabilities, creating awareness about mental health, how it affects them and how their lives end up being, changed in one way or another. So that's a little bit of me. I am an advocate for mental health. I am an advocate for self-love. I am all hands-on when it comes to mental health and things that concern humans in terms of self-love and confidence, passion. I think that's just about me. Like I say, I am a first aid kit in the community when it comes to mental health. Benjamin, back to you.
That's interesting. It's an honor to actually be speaking to a psychologist like right now, and I think so many people actually need this opportunity to actually be able to talk to someone, an expert, in helping one get control of their mental health or just their psychological well-being.
Yes.
I have been I've battled severe levels of depression for 5 years, and mostly it's been like that because I haven't had anybody to talk to, an expert, to just share my frustrations with, or what I've been going through. Somebody to help me with changing my negative patterns, changing the thoughts I have been having of committing suicide, or just ignoring people, getting addicted to alcohol, and it's just been very, very frustrating. Like those 5 years were the worst moments of my life, because I went from very jolly to very introvert in a very bad way. And because of that, because of the things that I have gone through, I believe we need to help each other. We need to support each other, because mental health issues can affect ideally anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
And nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. And the truth is, so many times people think that, me, I am what's the term? I am immune. I can do without mental health conditions. So yeah, don't give me that drama, or that and then they feel like they would rather not engage or in matters to deal with mental health issues, or to support a person close to them who's battling mental health conditions. To make it even worse, these people just choose to make the condition for these people even worse by the words that they say, by how they look at them, by how they treat them. And,
which is basically more like stigmatizing them.
And because of that, I think I skipped one thing. I skipped an introduction to what mental health is. So Mary, if you can just help us help us understand, what is mental health?
Okay, so mental health is the level of psychological well-being or an absence of mental illness. So most of the times people confuse mental illness with mental health. You get mental illness is let me use the term, is the actual disease. That is anxiety, depression, it could be suicidal patients, it could be schizophrenia, it could be bipolar. Those are the mental illnesses, yeah? And then when we talk about mental health, it is your entire psychological well-being, okay? So it is the absence of that disease. But in terms of mental health, we look at confidence, positive thinking, energy around, positive energy. We look at how you handle coming out from depression to, getting better. So mental health incorporates all those things, while mental illness is actually the disease. The way, you remember how we were in school and they used to tell us that the killer diseases? Yeah. So I think even in mental health, we have that part where we have mental illness. And so with mental illness, we like I said, we have the depression, the anxieties, and a lot more. So yes, mental health is the level of your psychological well-being or the absence of a mental illness.
That's really very detailed. And me, I'm actually happy you're saying this online or live, because so many times, if you agree with me, many times when when you speak about mental health, or just anything to do with mental health, or a subject that has the word mental health in it, people tend to either shy away or just would rather not talk about anything. They don't want to deal with it because of, I think it's just a general mindset around mental health.
Yeah,
Many
and
times.
I think I think, Benjamin, it's also because of a stigma around mental health. I like to always talk in comparison of HIV. When HIV had just come, no one wanted to, talk about it. People would not have a same doctor. I could not go to a doctor that is treating an HIV patient. Back then, there's a lot of stigma around HIV, but these days, people go to hospitals and don't mind if this doctor is treating a patient with HIV, they can still treat me. So the stigma around mental health is that society has labeled people mad, not sick, not ill. You get my point. Society has a picture of, if I hear the word mental illness, it's like someone is telling me that person is going to beat me up, that person is going to throw things at me, that person is filthy, that person is dirty, that person is all over the street, that person is a nobody. That is what comes to our heads when people hear that. So when you tell a person who is stressed and you're like, oh, you're struggling with something, and that is stress, and it's a mental illness, someone says, no, me, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just stressed. But the actual truth is, people don't know, but there is clinical stress. There is that stress that will drive you into depression at the end of the day. So I think we just need to open up our eyes more. And like I tell people, just the way we ended the stigma around HIV, the stigma around, the stigma around violence, because now people are more free to talk about violence in their families. It's the same way we should start talking about mental health. The way we go to hospitals and test for malaria should be the same way we go to our mental health facilities and test for our, mental health. Yeah, so I think it's the stigma that is pushing people to not open up and to not want to talk about mental health.
Yeah, no, that's really true. And thank you very much, like Mary. And the truth is, like, if we talk about psychologists, like, I think people don't really understand how much they can benefit from a psychologist, and very few people are actually like making use of your services, and either because of the fear or stigma too, and just I think there's some kind of misinformation or ignorance around the subject. Like, people think that talking or opening up to someone is probably a sign of weakness, or there's that assumption. I also had it at some point where you feel like if I go to somebody, I'm not going to talk about the things I'm thinking about, and they're going to ask me like all these kind of things, and I'm like, do I really want to share all that? So the stress or it gets to you, and then if the people around you are not supportive, they're not encouraging you or just enlightening you about how beneficial that service is, you'll never know. So I see a message from Mental Health Focus. They say, like physical health, everyone has mental health. Physical health is a state of your body, and mental health is a state of your mind, feelings, and emotions. Like physical health, mental health is always there, and it's fine to have good and bad days. I totally agree with that. Nobody is perfect, and the good and bad.
That's so true.
Yeah, like the good and bad kind of create that balance between us. And like you were talking about stress earlier, generally stress is not bad, and until it reaches that point.
That's acute. The use stress that pushes us is not bad. It's the use stress that pushes you to say, I need to do better. I need to achieve this. I have a deadline. I have ABC. But as it progresses, it can become bad. We have seen people that because of stress, we have seen people that collapse. So there are levels of everything. Just like there are levels in education, there are also levels in things. Benjamin, let me give an example of depression. Yeah, that there is a level of depression that can be treated with just therapy. Yeah, you just walking into a therapist's office, and then but then there are also levels of depression that just therapy will not do. They add we need to understand that the earlier intervention of something, the better, and I think the better, the smoother the path to improving our mental health is. You had talked about a psychologist, people fearing to walk into offices. Honestly, it's true. It's not easy to open up to a stranger. Yeah, it's not easy. Benjamin, I mean, the first time you and I met, I remember telling you, oh my God, you have a beautiful voice. You're amazing. But how many people will do what I did? Some people would be like, man, you're good. And then they'll just stop at that. But I went a step ahead to find out, what do you do? Do you just use your voice for this? Or do you go on and, inspire other people? So it's the same way. People are different. Someone will shy away from walking into a therapist's office. Other people will go online, read about it, and find ways of helping themselves. But I think the most important thing is that let's be open. Let's not fear let's not fear seeking for help. Yeah. If a therapist seems too big of a word, let's use our support system. Let's use our friends. I know people continuously tell me, but Marie, how can I tell my friend my problems? They're going to share them to the world. True, people are different too. People will talk about you. But the question is, we all know our circles. We all have that friend. Benjamin, I trust you have that friend that if I share with them this particular information, they're not going to backstab me with my information, but they're going to be supportive and they're going to listen. So I think first step is when you acknowledge that you have a problem. For example, if you acknowledge you have anxiety, you have depression, and you acknowledge the fact that, okay, I have a problem. Let's get to the next step of, I know denial will come. You will deny the fact that you're struggling with this, but let's also be open-minded and seek for help. Let's not just sit down in these problems and think, oh, okay, I have this problem, I will sort it out. Like, people keep on postponing certain things. So the more we postpone things, the more, they grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time we realize, at times it's too late. So let's not wait for the too late. Let us open up. Let us seek for help immediately. Let's use our support system. Yes. I think that's what I would like to say about people seeking for help and support, and knowing that psychologists are there to help, not to judge. So if you walked in a room and they judged you, please, you have all the rights to move out and look for someone else that is going to support you. We are not there to judge people, but we are there to help people. And we do not give solutions, guys. We don't give solutions, but we help you come up with your own solutions. So don't come running to me, Benjamin, and say, oh, I am struggling with anxiety. What can I do? A, B, C, D. And then you think I'm going to be like, do A, B, C. No, we need to sit together and come up with a plan on how we are going to work together to see you improve. So back to you, Benjamin.
Wow. That's very interesting. Um, if you're out there, if you're watching this video, if you're tuned in live on social media, um, please leave your comments about what you think about what we're talking about. What do you think about mental health? What has been your understanding of mental health? Do you know somebody who is battling a mental health condition? Are you battling a mental health condition? Um, do you need someone to talk to? We will be leaving contacts for how you can get to Nayiga, and um, in case you want just to talk to an expert, in the mental health field, and just comment anything you feel, you want to talk about, and if you have any questions that you feel you want to be answered, just leave them in the comments. Niga will come through and just answer them, yeah, sooner or eventually. And it's amazing. Like, to be honest, as a person, I feel the relief of knowing that the people around me care for me. But then that's really not so much of the case when it comes to people battling mental health conditions. I have had music sessions at the mental health unit of the regional referral hospital here in Gulu, and from the feedback we've been getting from the mental health patients and their caretakers, you find that they're given the medication and treatment, and all the services are given there. And when they get back home, it's hard to survive, because the entire community is looking at you like you're a monster, like you're not human, like you're something out of this world. And me, I feel like that affects them so much, because it affects how the medication, how the body is going to accept the medication, how the recovery process is going to work. And that's one of the reasons as why one of the objectives for having these sessions, to try and bridge the gap between people battling mental health conditions and their community, especially their immediate community. We've had stories of people who have been beaten up by their own family members, and you ask yourself, okay, if you're not sure of how to deal with certain things, how about find the right people that can help you deal with these conditions, other than channeling your fear into um, uh, violence. I know that sometimes people battling mental health conditions can be very hard to understand. Not can be. They're very hard to understand. But the truth is, they need us. They need each and every one of us, because every mental health condition comes from a point where you, as a person who is battling that condition, do not have control over the things that happen to you. So you need an extra hand. And and the most important thing that we need to realize, is the role we play in the recovery of these people battling mental health conditions. It's very important, um, the words that we say, to these people, how we treat them, what do you tell them when you meet them? How do you look at them when you see them? These people are not dumb. They're not stupid. They're actually intelligent, and they understand body language. They understand words. So sometimes all we need to do is just show them we care, show them we support them, show them we're there for them. And I'm not saying go beyond what you can, but be honest when you have to, but then the genuine support other than some kind of sympathy that makes somebody feel like yeah, this one is just doing it maybe for the show, or um Nayiga is off temporarily, but she'll be back hopefully soon. In the meantime, I would like to do one song, one of the songs that are part of my EP album called Nichao. Nichao means healing. It's an album that I purposely produced for speaking about some of the major issues around mental health. So yeah. Negativity is all around us, but you can fight it with a smile. Positivity comes when you choose to feel, and you can build it with a smile. I know you're more than your troubles. Wipe all your tears, no more crying. Don't let your condition bring you down. I know you're more than your troubles. Wipe all your tears, no more crying. Don't let your condition bring you down. Peko clarema, or be better my bed. Anong pero caro. Don't cry, it will be alright. I know these painful times will pass you by, yeah. Tokaba mukwano, toba nakutia. Chamani embere no eja kuterera. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, 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 don't cry. It's time for you to realize, let the music open your eyes. Come alive, come alive. It's time for you to come alive. Let the music open your eyes. If you just believe, I know you're more than your troubles. Wipe all your tears, no more crying. Don't let your condition bring you down. I know you're more than your troubles. Wipe all your tears, no more crying. Don't let your condition bring you down. Peko clarema, or be better my bed. Anong pero any caro. Don't cry, it will be alright. I know these painful times will pass you by, yeah. Tokaba mukwano, toba nakutia. Chamani embereno, eja kuterera. Ooh, ooh, oh, don't cry. Yeah. That was Don't Cry, and good to have you back, Nayiga.
Thank you. I don't know what happened with my Zoom. It just went off. I feel so sad that I missed the beginning of this song.
But Nayiga, you've had the song before, so
I,
at least you've had me
yes,
perform it
and I
live.
told you it's amazing. Yeah, I think we were in Ginger, and oh my God, it was beautiful. This is what music therapy is about. You feel the music and it speaks to your soul, and you connect to the story behind the song, and the rhythm, all those things just open up your mind to, there is a better tomorrow, there is a better day. And it actually, I feel like music is one of those things that you get to hear from someone else, and you get to know that you're not going through this alone. You've listened to songs and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that they get to sing about this. It's like they have been there. It's like they understand this. So yeah, I think, Benjamin, your song speaks a lot of volume, and I hope people that are watching this get to understand that music is. I mean, people were not wrong when they said music is food for the soul. I bow and respect you guys that make music to speak to our souls. So yes, Benjamin, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nayiga. And mental health focus. Mental health focus says this is amazing, an amazing tune, and sounds good for a mental health documentary. Oh, that sounds good. Um, I strongly believe in what music can do as a form of additional therapy for
Yeah.
for mental health recovery. And science science is slowly starting to understand uh, the role of music, in mental health and generally in our general well-being. Because music is a
Yes.
universal language, it's something that connects people, brings people together. That's in layman's language. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel peace, relaxed. But then science actually shows that music, there's a part in our brain that never forgets music. So
Yes, that's true.
and that's why these are some of the concepts that actually bring the birth of music therapy, because uh, music therapy deals with understanding um, understanding how to channel music to
Yes.
to improve one's mental health.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's so true.
and and to me, I'm not an expert in music therapy. I have
Huh?
I've spent all my life researching about how to sing to people, not just how to perform and people laugh, but then how to connect with people. That's why every time when I have a song, I've always told people I'm an emotional singer. So I'm not just going to come and sing a song that there is no message in, even if it's a love song or a song about falling in love with someone. It's not going to be the kind of song that's going to lead you to do something wrong or negative. I felt like we as artists um, have a platform, have a not a platform, but we have the ability to make a difference in our community, and
Yes.
it comes through the gifts that we have, you know. And to me, I've always said this every time I have been on a discussion. I've told people that we as artists are more like, you'd say, shepherds, yeah, or leaders of some kind of sort, because you're doing music and then you have people listening to this music, and the number grows every now and then. Most of them are maybe
Yeah.
drawn to the sound of your voice, or just the nice melody in the music, and you'd be surprised at how many people are actually just listening to a particular song, you know, in a desperate time of need. I
Yeah.
personally, when I'm stressed out, I have songs that I do listen to, some of my own, but then also other songs as well. Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and when you listen to these songs, there's a way, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're stressed out, there's a way you just release out like all this energy, and you find yourself like smiling or dancing along to the song or nodding, and life is actually much more better. You're much more focused. I do that almost on a
Yeah.
daily basis. If I'm at my day job, working with data and documentation, I there are times when you just have the stress of just being on computer for so much and working around so much figures. So I get those frequent breaks, and if it's not
Yeah.
me listening to a song, it's me just singing something. And this is something I would love to encourage people to do. You don't need a very nice voice to sing. I personally don't have a very nice voice. I know people who have a very nice voice better than me, but then it doesn't stop you from actually singing. The beauty of singing is not really about the voice. It's about the feeling. It's about the motive behind.
Yeah.
So I'd like to encourage everyone, within your family settings, within your friend groups, you can agree and say, okay, every once in a while we can just sing a song we both know together. You'd be surprised at how that will build the bonds that you have as friends, as family.
Yeah. I mean, that's very true. Have you looked at people that say, oh my God, what's our friendship song? What is that song that we share, me and you? What is that song? And trust me, every time that song plays, if you and your friends share that particular song together, the energy around you is so positive. Even when you had a low mood, you lighten up, I mean, I myself personally, I don't have a voice that can, sing and move mountains in terms of singing. But I don't care when I'm singing, because I am singing for me to, take off some stress. I usually listen to Zach Williams, and I'm like, oh my God, how did this guy come up with such a song? How did he know that this song will speak to my soul? So I think, apart from music as a form of therapy, soul for the food, like I said, music helps you to open your mind to connect with the unknown. Have you listened to a song and someone taps you, and when you come out of it, you're like, huh? What were you saying? Man, I was in another world. So I think you're right to talk about music. And I think creatives out there who are creating art pieces, who are creating music, who are creating whatever they are creating, should like, they should start doing things that are beyond their limits. Let them open up more to say, okay, I have been feeling low, and this is the art piece I drew when I was feeling low. Let them talk about their art pieces. Let them share, because someone out there will look at that art piece or will listen to that particular song, and they will get to say, oh my God, I was there. That is what I was going through, And I think we should learn to not judge people. I know creatives have been judged for what they create. I know people have sung songs and everyone's like, no, what is that song about? What is it going to do to me? Why in the world would he sing something like this? By the time someone else connects to that particular song, one man's meat is another man's poison. So I believe in open-mindedness. I believe in learning. When people look at me and I say country music is my favorite music, no one will believe me, because I look like an R&B chick. I look like a rap music chick, But in actual sense, I listen to country music and I tell myself, yes, that is exactly what I needed today. You listen to Kelly Clarkson and you're like, oh my God, how did she know? How did she know that I was battling with something like this? But in actual sense, when you get to listen to their interviews, these are some things that we're going through, you know? So I think we should be more open-minded to listening to music, to doing our art. Let's not stop kids from drawing. Okay, let's stop them from drawing on the walls. The story of painting the walls, repainting, because the kids are constantly, you know, doodling on the walls. But let's give them art books, you know. Let's not look at our teenagers simply because they said, Mom, I want to be an artist, or I want to be a painter, I want to be a songwriter, I want to be a musician. Let's not start judging them. There is no career in music. You're going to be broke, you're going to have nothing. But also let's do what we're supposed to do. I tell people at times the degrees that we're getting are not for ourselves, they're for our parents, most of the times, because we have something else, we have a different passion. So let's get that degree and give it to mom and dad, and let's push our dream. Let's sing the music, let's do the art, let's fill the world with better positivity and possibilities of overcoming our mental health challenges through music, through art, I think even through sports. Yeah, so I think that is something I would love to say about music, but also I would like to open people's minds. I have a small book that I usually jot down stuff. So I would love to share on how to improve one's mental health, you know. Let's look at music as something that can improve our mental health, but there are also other forms of how we can improve our mental health. For example, let's learn to value ourselves, avoid self-criticism, you know, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I suck at everything, oh, I will never be anybody, oh, I am not going to be anyone. Self-criticism is a straight path to having anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, you know. And I think people should learn to stay positive, find a balance between the negativity around you, and hold on to the positivity around you. Benjamin, I usually tell people with 5 negative things, yeah, please bring in 10 positive things to boost yourself. You know, I'm not good enough. I suck at being a speaker, a public speaker. I can't do this. I can't do that. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I good at? What can I do to be better? You know, should I practice self-talk before I go onto a stage? Should I ask people how can they support me through this? And we should also learn to practice gratitude. You know, COVID is here and people are going back home. They're not going to have their jobs. Kids are back home. People are sick. People are dying. Let's not focus on just the negatives. You know, let's be grateful that, oh, I have a bar of soap at home. I can still wash my hands. My family can still wash their hands. I have water, I have food. You know, let's be grateful for that. I'm not saying let's ignore that COVID, the pandemic is happening, but positivity has a way it boosts our mental health. You know, being grateful for the little that you have and not thinking into the a lot that you don't have is a way of pushing into the next step, being positive. Let's also take care of our physical health. Let's connect with others, you know, give Benjamin a call, give me a text. I usually check on people. It's few people that check on me. I don't know why. Benjamin, you do a good job on checking on me. I acknowledge that. But at times people are who they are. They can't change the fact that they're not used to checking on people. Some people are used to the fact that when I call Benjamin and I'm asking for something, I am checking on them. Let's just correct that. Let's put this out there and say, give a friend a call just to check on them, just to say, hi, how are you doing? Are you great? And if they're not fine, ask them, how can I be of help? Don't promise things that you won't deliver, but ask how you could be of help. In all those things they will list down, there is one thing you can do. And it may just be give me a phone call every after 2 days or 1 day. Let's develop a sense of meaning and purpose in life. I think this is like my last part. I remember the time I struggled with my depression. It was grief eating me up. I remember I could not see a life without my grandmother. I remember I asked myself, who am I without my grandmother? What am I going to be without her? Because all my life, she was like my breath, my air. And someone just sucked the air out of me when I lost her. So I kept on saying, what am I going to be? What is the use of school without grandma? But when there's a book I randomly found in my senior one, and it was saying purpose of life. I'm not a book reader. Trust me, Benjamin, that book I read because just the title opened up my eyes, and it was a Christian book. But I do remember sitting down and writing some stuff that I never thought I would ever write before. I wrote down what I wanted to be, who I wanted to become, what I needed those to be for me. And trust me, Benjamin, I am exactly those words that I wrote down. I am talking to people about mental health. I am telling people that it is important to first love yourself before you let in other people to love you. You get the point. Mental health is something that it doesn't have, how can I say, it doesn't have the remedy. It's not a recipe. It's not like, oh, when you're cooking a coconut cake, these are the things that you need. No, we just keep on picking things from here, there, and there to see that we better our lives. But for as long as you know you have a purposeful life, you're looking to build in your life, you're looking to better your life, I think this is one way we will start to fight depression, anxieties. These things are going to be there. I'm not saying they're not going to be there. They're going to be there, but it gives us a more, Benjamin, help me out. It gives us a level ahead. You know, you're a step ahead. You know, for example, the way I'm going to be anxious is not the same way someone who is not aware of mental health and anxiety is going to be. I will step behind the stage and tell myself, Maria, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And then I will say, count up to 10, and these things are going to help me calm down. While someone who is not aware, they may, grab a bottle and then, let me just drink this up and hit the stage. They will give you a good performance, but then have we realized that that bottle is always going to be their solution to getting onto that stage, to drawing that picture, to making that pitch in the meeting? So there are also positive ways of overcoming stuff and there are negative ways of overcoming stuff. So those are the few things I wanted to share on how we can improve our mental health. So Benjamin, back to you.
Oh wow, this is nice. When we talk about what was I going to say? Okay. So to be honest, there's a lot that we have to talk about, when it comes to mental health matters. But then I just would love us to talk about these things more in depth. And I think what we're doing right now, we're just having a general discussion on almost everything. But the following sessions will have a more in-depth understanding of a particular theme or topic when it comes to mental health. If it is depression, if it is anxiety, if it's just techniques on how to control or manage anger or stress. I think that's something that we will be looking at in our next sessions. And but it's amazing. It's amazing to see how much we can actually talk about mental health. And I'm very sure that people have questions. They have a lot of questions. And like I said earlier, if you're online, you're watching this, and you have a question that you want to be answered, feel free to just post it in the comments, or just privately message us if you feel it's uncomfortable for the public to see, and we'll be able to see how to support you. I'll always encourage you out there to reach out to a specialist in mental health services to support you in case you're not sure what's going on with you. And in a few minutes, maybe Naga will take us through just a few signs or a few things that maybe should let you maybe want to see or talk to us a psychologist in case you notice certain things. But if it's you out there and some of the things that we mentioned, it doesn't really mean you're battling a mental condition. It just means maybe you need to go and speak to someone to just help you understand what's going on. And I think people shouldn't assume that you only need to see a mental health specialist because you're battling a mental health condition. Sometimes you need to just talk to someone, an expert who knows matters of the mind, and it could just help. It could be a preventive measure for you, to combat certain things like the breathing technique. It's something that I know it works. I have been very angry at a point where I felt like I wanted to punch a wall, but then I have breathed in and out, deep breaths, and counted to 10, and focus on my heartbeat or just how my blood is pumping, and it worked. It's calmed me down. So I feel like people need to know these things. People need to know how to those simple first aids for some of these things. And so Mary, if you don't mind, just telling us about some of the early signs that people need to look out for. In case signs of a mental health disorder.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, different disorders have different signs and symptoms. Yeah, but let's look at the most common signs that will manifest. We have things that concern with our moods. Yeah. So when I talk about anything that is concerning our mood, we have someone being on and off mood. You're happy one moment, you're sad the other moment. I think, Benjamin, you show gathering, and people are happy, people are sharing stuff, people are talking about happiness, and then you look at someone in the crowd and they're so gloomy. They are not in the moment, they're not in the now, they're unhappy, they seem like their minds are so far. It could be stress, it could be depression, it could be that they're socially anxious, they don't know how to, people being confused. You're confused, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I was supposed to do ABCD. You're forgetful because of the thoughts that you're having. You sleep thinking, your brain is thinking, you wake up thinking, you are full of thoughts. You are not giving your brain time to sleep. At times people tell you, my goodness, it's like as if I didn't sleep at night. I am so tired. It's because your brain was constantly worrying at night. People have dreams and they're like, oh my God, I dreamed when I had lost my job. It's because of the constant thoughts that you have been having, at night. So you end up becoming sleepless. We have reduced ability to concentrate. Benjamin, you're talking to me, and all of a sudden you're talking, and I'm like, or I'm actually not making any sound. And then after you ask me, so we are going, right? And then I ask you, what did you say? Where are we going? Where are we going? Yet you were fully telling me the entire journey, how much we're going to pay, how we are going to spend this. But in actual sense, I was absent-minded, not because I wanted to, but because my brain was so far. I was busy thinking, oh my God, now Corona has come. What am I going to eat? How am I going to survive? I don't have a job. How am I going to do A, B, C, D? And then we have the feeling or thinking that you are worthless. You feel like you are not important. You feel like you are nobody. You start thinking, maybe I was better off if I were, something else. The guilt feelings of, oh my God, it's my fault that I'm like this. I should have done A, B, C, D. I should have, the constant feeling of being guilty at all times, the constant feeling of not being worth of anything, feeling unworthy, These are some of actually the signs of getting depressed, We have behavioral characteristics. You are withdrawn from people, you lack sleep or you sleep too much, you tend to be aggressive at all times, you're thinking the whole world is against you. You've seen, Benji, you've seen people that 1, 2, 3, they're on that level of defense, you ask a question, but they're defending themselves instead of actually answering the question. I ask you, so will you be able to come? They're like, come when? Eh? You think I'm not going to come? Did I tell you I will not come? Sorry for the background noise. Did I tell you I will not come? Why do people, they're always on the defense line. They don't wait for the next thing. It's because they're constantly worried. They're worried that maybe I'm not doing things right. Maybe I'm always doing something wrong. So Benjamin, those are some of the signs. Like I said, depression has different signs, anxiety has different signs, schizophrenia has different signs, but these are some of the common things that you look out for. Look out for your mood. Yeah, is your mood, look, how are you thinking? Are you always on the negative line of things? Check it out, behavior wise. Are you dragging yourself into a behavior that, you didn't have before? This pandemic, the first pandemic, it showed violence, it showed people becoming more alcoholics, it showed, it showed a lot of things, people committed suicide. I remember I was carrying out a research with a policy, and we realized that creatives knew, at least the bunch of creatives that we met, they at least knew someone that had committed suicide. What about now that it's actually worse? What about now that most families are actually saying, I lost someone due to COVID. I lost my dad, I lost my grandpa, I lost a friend, a relative, an OG, an OB. What about now that it's more severe than before? This wave has come so quick, so fast. And man, I was in the market and I realized the last wave we had food, Benji, we had food. Matoke was cheap. But now, man, you go and buy matoke for 1,000 and someone tells you it will just be 3 or 4. But before the first wave, you come back with a full Cavera. So I am thinking it's the mental health state of people may not be any better, but we just need to stick together. Benji, this is good. We just need to tell people, oh, there is a live stream. We're going to be talking about mental health, and people get to, hear different things. People will ask different questions. So we are actually creating a platform where people will be able to share, talk about what they're going through, and hopefully there is no lockdown so that people get to, find ways of surviving. I highly doubt that there isn't one, but for now, let's wash our hands, let's sanitize, let's keep a distance, let's take those vitamins, let's listen to that music to soothe us, our brains. Let's write things down. let's draw, let's just keep in the moment. Let's be in the now. Let's not be negative. Let's be positive, and we will push through. I trust each one of us watching out there and listening that we will push through. We push through the first one, we can still push through the second one. Back to you, Benjamin.
Oh, that's really nice. I feel very comfortable speaking with someone who is equally passionate about mental health matters. I think I could actually talk all day. Because man, like there's so much. I think that uh, we need to talk about. I feel like the message is not getting to the people. The message about mental health, like generally, like people are looking at mental health as if you ask somebody about mental health, somebody is just going to probably just point to the people they call mad on the street. So like that's the kind of mindset people have. But then like nobody's willing to just like sit down and talk about things that build them, things that are positive, things that encourage them to stable psychological and economical, financial, life. And so many of these things like are intertwined. I've always told people mental health matters are intertwined in almost everything, even everything else in the health uh, sector as well. If you're having, if you're battling with AIDS, the stigma around is going to trigger a lot of mental health conditions. And sometimes what people don't realize is some of these mental health illnesses are temporary, and some are not temporary, some are permanent, and we just need to be able to know how to handle these conditions or prevent them before they get any worse. And the greatest thing I've always told people is working together. Mental health conditions are problems. It's not that it's my problem. Even if I have a mental health condition as me, those problems are our problems because we handle them together. If I have a problem, I will have to either share it with somebody close to me, so that if I don't have the courage or the strength to go to a psychologist or to a mental health unit or to a hospital, my caretaker, one who is genuinely willing to support me through the process, will take me or go on my behalf and then see how to take me to receive the services that I need. And most of these times as a caretaker, you're also you're not immune to to getting a mental health condition as well. It could be temporary or permanent due to the stress levels and the burden on your shoulders as well. So most times being careful about how much being careful about generally uh, uh, your mental health, I'd say. Yeah. And then I want to do a song. Uh, One of my songs called Depression. And it's one of the first songs that I did about my depression. And it helped describe how I felt, the things I was going through, the things I just I wasn't able to talk to anyone about it. But then one time I'm invited for a film that was supposed to be released, and it was about addiction. And I was part of the song the song songwriting team. So I wrote a song, and yeah, I think I can do a small a cappella, and hope you guys will like it. Is somebody here? Can somebody hear me out? Oh, am I just stuck in my own depression? Oh, is there a way for me to help me get through the night? I'm broken and torn apart. Help me to find the light. My depression, ooh, my depression, my depression, ooh, my depression, my depression. Omyuka amaso gwe buli lw'okoleza, okankana ekiro gwe buli lw'otanuusa. Stuck between my fantasy and what I see, messed up trying to make my reality. And now you're wishing there will be a way, and you're hoping there will come someday when you're finally gonna turn away. And you're wishing there will be a way, and you're hoping there will come someday when you're finally gonna turn away. Can somebody hear me out? Or am I just stuck in my own depression? Oh, is there a way for me to help me get through the night? Broken and torn apart. Help me to find the light. My depression, my depression, my depression, my depression. Yep, that was depression. It's a very emotional song for me because it really talks about those times when I was really struggling so much to just try and make sense of life.
Yeah.
You get very depressed, and then you're addicted to alcohol, and you can't let go of it. And somehow, that's a substance use disorder, and you don't. At that point, I didn't know these things. Everything was just happening like not so fast. Actually, everything was happening so slowly, and you're addicted to something that you feel is probably going to take away your pain for a moment. Just a moment. You just want a remedy to just stop. Worrying about like everything. And every time it's you just have to keep taking more and more, and you reach a point whereby if you don't take you're shivering, you're at night, you're just. But I thank, of course, I thank God because I think I just, it wasn't my time to die. It wasn't my time to kill myself, because there were definitely several times I tried and I failed, so I'd like to end the meeting now, because I think it's already an hour since we started.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Mary, if you have any last final remarks for us, for the viewers out there, now would be the time. And then, yeah, then we can close the meeting.
Well, I was actually trying to figure out how am I going to wind up this? How am I going to, but there is no better winding up this conversation than if I shared 6 ways to find your purpose in life. So I think during this, during this pandemic, these are some of the things that can help us, find our purpose, find who we are. And, so number one, pick the right time to think about it. Don't just pick the right time. You know your right time. I know my right time. Just pick the right time to think about your purpose. Imagine yourself in the future. What do you want to be in the next, I don't know how many years? That is all up to you. But imagine yourself in the future. And then ask the people who know you best. If you have a friend that you trust, that ask them some, a few questions. Like, when you see me, what do you see? I used to talk until someone told me, you make a pretty good speaker. You would talk to people and they would listen. I didn't know that I would do that until someone actually noticed that in me. So ask people who know you and let them tell you a few things that they know about you. Some will be positive, others will be negative, but the main point is you're trying to discover your purpose in life. And then think about how the rest of your life is affected in terms of what you're doing, what you're not doing, how you're doing it. Think about how your life is being affected. And then pretend you are another person giving advice to yourself. Pretend that you're giving someone else advice, but in actual sense, you're giving it to yourself. Because at times we want to tell people we want to advise people on how to live their lives, but we forget to actually reflect the same advice on ourselves. So maybe it's time while you're telling people to wash their hands, while you're telling people to wear their masks, while you're telling people to distance, please do the same. Do the same for yourself. Even in other things, it's not just about Corona, but even in your lifestyle, your career, all those other things. And then finally, imagine you are living in your last moments. I'm not saying you're living your last moments, but at times you need to live every day like it was your last day. It was your last day. Because why do I say this? That means you're going to be more careful. You are going to take it more serious. You are going to be more open-minded to what is to come and what is not to come. And I think if we try and practice these 6 things during this time, it might be, a way of us improving our own mental health. It may also be a way of opening our minds and be more creative in our own state. Other than that, I think I leave you with the words of encouragement to tell you that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to be okay and not reach for help. Let's reach for help. Let's find someone to talk to. Me and you are someone else's support system, but we also need a support system of our own. So let's be more open-minded. Let's not judge before people share with us. Let's listen. Let's not promise things that we can't deliver. Let's help when we can. And if we can't, let's be open to tell people that we are not able to help. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for hosting me. I can't wait for the next time we hold on a different particular topic. Today, we were just pitching in here and there. You have an awesome voice. I will not stop saying that. Please keep doing what you're doing. Spread the word. Talk to people about mental health. Let's end the stigma around mental health. If me and you are doing this, if Mental Health Focused Uganda is doing it, if someone else out there is doing it, then we will get somewhere. So thank you so much. Adios.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Nayiga. This has been very amazing. I will not waste any more time. If you have any more comments or questions, please just comment them in the comments, and we'll see how to address them. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and hope to see you again next time. Check out our platforms for the next topic that we'll be discussing, and for the Zoom meeting links as well. So see you all, and have a nice day.
See you.